A lot of people have been hearing me talk about my my perspective of spirituality. And there's a number of different dimensions and ways to approach the term of spirituality. However, my current simplest way of considering it is actually, maybe the word is discipline. And one of the things that it makes me realize is that the way that people earn and achieve what they desire is through vibrational stability. And the Bible, in fact, has perfect analogies of this. One of the parables or the stories that continues to come into my mind, pause, is the story where Jesus walks on water. So, for some of you that do not know this story, Jesus and his disciples are on a boat. And from there, he decides to just chill a little bit. Now, his disciples, they were chilling a little bit. Then, out of nowhere, a storm comes through. Can you relate to a storm coming through? Then, from there, they start panicking and they go, Jesus, Jesus, something, look, man, something crazy is happening. But what does Jesus do, right? He gets up, and then from there, he calms the storm and he even walks on water. Now, I hope I'm getting this story right, because I know there's a story where he calms the storm, and then there's another one where he walks on water. But look, there's a lot of interesting things going on in that story. But one of the ones that has been running in my mind is the similarity between walking on water and being an entrepreneur. When you are an entrepreneur, you are pretty much like walking on water, because there is no there's no there's no safety net in a way. And it takes vibrational stability, it takes calmness and consistent effort in order for you to stay afloat. And that is what that story kind of really keeps on telling me, is that in order for somebody to achieve what they want, it takes having vibrational stability. So the next question may be for you, all right, how do I achieve vibrational stability? It comes from your habits. If you can abstain from negative habits, you're already going to put yourself in a situation where you have an inkling towards having the positive habits. And that is going to reduce the odds that you are going to be able to be brought into a lower vibration, even when there are storms going on around. And let's say, for example, right now in America, there are a lot of storms going on right now in America. And of course, in the entire world, there's a lot of storms going on. There is the pretty much based off of my prediction of what could happen in the bringing about of artificial intelligence, based off of what I predicted, it's been the worst case scenario, which means lack of action in a meaningful way, in a fast enough, meaningful way. It has been corporations merging into one another, and yeah, so pretty much it's just that just means that the system is just going into what I would describe as a parasitic symbiosis. That's the way I described it in the 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 book, the miniature book that I wrote in the beginning of the year. So there's a lot of storms going on around the world, but when you are an entrepreneur, your job is to stay afloat. Your job is to pretty much walk on water no matter what is going on, and to stay calm, and to be able to keep your troops at bay and say things are going to be okay. So a lot of people don't have the ability to do this. This is pretty much what it means to be an entrepreneur, is to walk on water. And the way that you do this is that it comes from internally. It comes from putting in the work. It comes from it comes from having personal discipline, that you deserve the things that you're actually working for. No matter, even if you have the gift, even if you have a lot of things, a lot of ducks in a row, if you don't have the composition in your mental that you deserve the things that you are asking for, and setting things up, then still, because of that thing, you're not going to be able to get it. So what that means is that this is the real reason why, for the things that seem like they are rules in terms of the world giving you, or like religious rules, it's actually more of guidelines that'll be able to make you able to be, and I don't want to sound blasphemous, but you're going to be able to be like a god on earth. And the way that a man could be a bit of like a god on earth is by the things that you envision. You're able to create those things into existence through your mind, through your body, through your whatever way you're able to bring those things into existence. That's what God did, right? God is the one that created the earth. And that's in that same way, as a man, when you're able to create, that is evidence of God. So they have people that they're not religious at all, but they're able to adhere to the principles, the deepest principles that lead to being able to manifest and to create the world that they desire. So it appears like they're only following the deepest principles, which is discipline. So this is all coming to highlight the core reason why you should seek for spiritual discipline, is because it can help you. It's one of the reasons. All right. I'm not going to say the core reason why for spiritual things is, but one of the reasons why, for people that don't want to interact with the abstract yet about, afterlife and all of those type of things to consider. On earth, there is practical value, which is that it's going to give you a better odds of becoming who you desire to truly be. And that is one of the core things that has been downloaded in my mind. And as I gave you an example is, like the story of Jesus, right? When there was a storm, he was able to walk on water. And it's the same thing, just to highlight this to you, it's the same thing in the movie The Matrix, when they ask, see if he's gonna fly the first time, and then instead he jumps and he falls flat down on the ground, right? And that is, once again, that's a metaphor of jumping all the way out there, seeing if you could actually achieve what you want to achieve. And then from there he fall on his face. But then later on, man, he's flying and zooming and zooming and zooming. And it's the same way as an entrepreneur. You're going out and you thinking, yeah, I'm gonna be able to do this, and then from there you fall flat on your face, and then from there, but by in no time you'll be able to zoom and zig and zag and zoom and zig and zag, as long as you know do the things that I'm describing here. The other thing that I highlighted earlier today, I made a video about, is about the difference between eating like an entrepreneur and eating like an employee. When you are an entrepreneur, you're living close to the nature of all animals. It's feast or famine. And there is no, like I said, there's no safety net. It's people like Dana White, the owner of the UFC. They've described, what it's like, and it really is like being in the jungle, but in a corporate. It's a corporate metaphor. So some people try to eat. People eat like they are an employee when they are an entrepreneur. And I'm gonna tell you this. This is one of the biggest shifts and biggest things that can help you in your journey. Is when you are an entrepreneur, if you're an artist, don't be eating like an employee. The way that employee think, they think, okay, I'm gonna just wake up, I'm gonna eat breakfast. Somebody's gonna put breakfast on the table, I'm gonna eat breakfast. And then from there, I'm gonna be thinking, oh, what am I gonna eat for lunch? Am I gonna eat if you eat a burger during lunch and all that type of stuff, you eating a heavy food during lunch and you're an entrepreneur? No, you're not. I'm sorry. And I've been there before. These are things that it took me some time to figure out. I'm giving you the game. You cannot eat like that as an entrepreneur. And then, oh yeah, I'm gonna eat like this in dinner. Look, by the time it's dinner time, yeah, totally understand. But if you're eating breakfast and thinking about lunch during the day, you're just not entrepreneuring. Those are hours that you need to be active on a spiritual level, meaning you can't even be thinking about food. You should be thinking about sales. You should be thinking about, and the reason why you should be thinking about sales is what's going to keep your business afloat. And sales is a metaphor for when you see on Animal Planet, when you see that leopard, that tiger stalking down its prey. That is the metaphor for sales in in modern society. So, and I'm not saying that the people that you it's just that the people that you are selling to are your prey. No, they're not. They're in the opposite. It's the opposite. That's the beauty of this system that we created of life, where it's like it's the people that you sell to, those are the people that you're actually saving their life. You're actually going out to save them. You're selling them something that's going to save them. Ideally, if you're doing this thing the right way, you're selling them something that's going to save their life, right? No matter what it may be. Some people, I met some people that own a juice bar in Bishop Arps. I wish I remember the name or I'd shout them out. Cool couple. If you are keeping your mouth shut and you are selling some juice that can help people, like, that's not good because people need that juice. It's healthy. You may offer some sort of beauty. You help out with people, making them look good, and that is very, very, very important. So the metaphor here is that in the jungle, it's about actually like prey, right? You're trying to that they feeding in the society. You are actually hunting down people that you could save their life by selling them the product. You just have to have the skill to actually know how to sell the product. So, but to tie this back to what I'm talking about is that if there was and you're watching Animal Planet and that animal had already eaten some food that was pre-brought out to them by some people that had already just chopped it up and stuff like that. You think they're gonna be able to eat that they're gonna be able to catch that gazelle? That they're gonna be able to catch that whatever they're hunting? No, they're not. Because they're gonna be full from whatever they just ate that was just already provided to them. So as an entrepreneur, you can't be as an entrepreneur, you can't be eating like an employee. It's not gonna work. So the best way, you might be asking yourself, what's the best way? You have to implement some sort of intermittent fasting. That's the simplest way to put it. Sometimes I go a couple days without eating. If I haven't made a sale, sometimes I go, okay, I'm not gonna eat anything until I make a sale. And then from there, when you do make a sale, here's what you do. I'm giving you the game right here. This one's probably one of the most important videos here. When you make a sale, a third of it, you put that up. Put a third of it up for a rainy day. A third of it, or maybe 20%, whatever percent you want, goes back into the business, figuring out what assets can be helpful for the business. Then the last part is what you're going to be able to save for yourself. That last third is what you're saving for yourself if you want. And that's what you're going to eat off of. That's the budget that you're gonna eat off of. That's the budget that you're gonna buy, whatever you want to buy. That 1/3 of the the income that you made, that's the only 1/3 that you should use towards yourself. I'm telling you this stuff as somebody that really has lived this entrepreneur stuff. And if you could learn this through these videos, man, it's gonna expedite your journey of actually achieving what you want. I wish somebody gave me all this, but this is me to give it to you. So yeah, you can't be the first thing I was talking about was vibrational stability, walking on water. The Bible gives you an analogy of what it is to be an entrepreneur, and you might have asked yourself, "What do I do in order to have vibrational stability?" It really is. It really is. It really is not having bad habits. Not having bad habits. There's a whole storm going outside. There is a storm going on outside in the world. Your purpose is to stay vibrational stability, high vibrational, so that you can actually be on the realm of creation and on the realm of manifestation at the same time. That's point number one in this video. Point number two, as a entrepreneur, as somebody that is not working for another business, you cannot eat like an employee. As an entrepreneur, you're living in a world that's different. The people that are employees, they're waking up thinking breakfast and then lunch and whatever. Oh, I can't wait for lunch. If you thinking like that as an entrepreneur, no, 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 no. So that's what this is about. This is day number 13 for me on 75 heart. All right, let's take this looky look. All right. Yo. Really starting to feel a bit of a difference in your body, being able to see a little bit of it. I don't really think I was really looking like this when I started. I think I'm starting to look a little different when I sit, you know. So, all right. See you in the next one.